Hello and welcome. For this video, I wanted to share some of my favorite prog songs by traditionally non-prog artists. There are a lot of examples to choose from, however, these are the first 10 I thought of. I think it's a fun topic and would love to hear your picks in the comments section. I know some people may disagree with the songs I choose or perhaps disagree with the artists I state as being non-prog. But at the end of the day, this is just for fun. These are just my personal opinions, not facts. With that said, the following are my picks in alphabetical order by artist. For my first pick, I have Foreplay/Long Time by Boston. The opening foreplay section is reminiscent of Yes or ELP, with heavy keyboards dominating throughout and driving the rest of the band in this instrumental workout, leading directly into the more straightforward rock sound of Long Time. It's a great track that fits well into Boston's debut album, which contains nothing but amazing tracks. Tom Scholz of Boston also stated that Foreplay was the first piece of music he ever wrote, and he wrote it as far back as 1969. Next up, we have Coloratura by Coldplay. This may be one of the bigger surprises in this video. Seriously, Coldplay wrote a prog rock song? They absolutely did, and it's magnificent. Say what you will about their other material, however, this track should appeal to prog rock fans. After all, it's a multi-sweet space rock epic. It's highly worth checking out even if you're not into Coldplay. I doubt you'll be disappointed. The song is the longest ever released by the band, running at 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Next, we have Telegraph Road by Dire Straits. This is one of Dire Straits' most epic songs and easily one of their best. It is worth every second of its roughly 14-minute length, which may be a challenge for the average pop fan. However, it is a truly rewarding track. It ebbs and flows through different feels seamlessly, ending with an excellent Mark Knopfler guitar solo. Highly recommended. Telegraph Road is a major north-south 70-mile thoroughfare in Michigan, and Mark Knopfler was inspired to write the song while riding in the front of the tour bus, which made the journey down Telegraph Road. Next, we have Journey of the Sorcerer by the Eagles. Even the title of this track sounds prog. This is a very interesting instrumental piece based around the banjo, however, also contains a full orchestra containing fiddle solos. Think of it kind of like a bluegrass prog, maybe. This is kind of a random track, however, to me, that's part of its charm. I love when bands try new things, maybe outside their normal style. The track was written by group member Bernie Leadon, however, the rest of the group, particularly co-founders Don Henley and Glenn Frey, were not keen on it being included on the album, which contributed to the friction in the band and Leadon quitting. Next, we have Prelude/Angry Young Man by Billy Joel. Despite never having been released as a single, this track has become a popular song among fans as well as a staple at his live shows. The prelude section of the track begins with rapid-fire piano, soon joined by the rest of the band in a fast-paced Aaron Copland southwestern style, which segues directly into the Angry Young Man section of the track. The rhythm of the fast-paced piano riff was meant to pay homage to the drum part in the song Wipeout by the Safaris. Next, we have Funeral for a Friend/Love Lies Bleeding by Elton John. This is such an epic track that starts with a beautiful, melancholy instrumental that flows seamlessly into the more upbeat Love Lies Bleeding portion of the song. Easily one of my favorite pieces Elton John has written. This came out at a very prolific time for him when it seemed he could do no wrong. I never tire of this track and is truly a classic in every sense of the word. The first part, Funeral for a Friend, is an instrumental created by John while thinking of what kind of music he would like at his funeral. Next up, we have Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin. My favorite and arguably the heaviest Zeppelin track. Complete with galloping guitars, rhythms played in unison, and godlike soaring vocals, this song is absolutely killer. Clocking in at over 10 minutes, it is one of their longer studio tracks. This track, to me, is almost a precursor to prog metal in some ways. They were known more for their blues and heavy rock sound, however they did dabble in the prog territory every once in a while. Guitarist Jimmy Page and singer Robert Plant began writing the song during the summer of 1975 and were influenced by Eastern music, mythology, and exposure to diverse cultures during their travels. Next, we have Bat Outta Hell by Meatloaf. I love this over-the-top album, and especially the title track. There's really not another song like it, really. The performance that Meatloaf gives is nothing short of amazing, almost operatic. It is truly an epic track that rocks hard and caught me by surprise when I first heard it many years ago. One of the many highlights has to be the motorcycle guitar solo by the talented Todd Rundgren. Songwriter Jim Steinman insisted that the song should contain the sound of a motorcycle and complained to producer Todd Rundgren at the final overdub session about its absence. Rather than using a recording of a real motorcycle, Rundgren himself played the section on guitar, leading straight into the solo without a break. Next, we have Synchronicity 1 by The Police. This track starts with a very cool sequence synthesizer riff that sounds closer to 1980s Crimson than it does The Police, in my opinion. It's a very cool, upbeat track in which all three members perform their parts amazingly, which is not anything new for this band. The subject matter is interesting too. Apparently, the lyrics are inspired by Carl Jung's theory of synchronicity. According to guitarist Andy Summers, tracks Synchronicity 1 and Synchronicity 2 were originally intended to be placed back-to-back on the album, with a brief instrumental piece serving as a segue. Lastly, we have The Confessor by Joe Walsh. What an odd but good song. The first minute or so is reminiscent of a Pink Floyd track or a number of other prog tracks for that matter. The song is broken into two sections, with the first being more atmospheric and acoustic. The second is the more rocking section, complete with electronic drums. Kind of a different sounding track for him, but it works very well. Clocking in at 7 minutes and 6 seconds, this is the longest track on the Confessor album. So there you have it. Let me know what you think and what other songs fit into this category. And as always, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you for watching my daddy's video.